Good morning, everybody. This is my take two trying to do this video. Here's Bella. I wanted to come on here to tell you that last night around 7 p.m., Bella went to the Rainbow Bridge. And I know this is very shocking to all of you because you've seen her here, all these videos, how she's a puppy at 13 years old. So I just wanted to share with you what happened. I want to start out by saying that I pride myself that in the 13 years that I've had Bella, she never went to a vet for a sick visit. She went for yearly blood tests. She went for dentals like every 2 years. In August, she did have to get a lipoma taken off. It was just a fatty cyst. But she had to go to the ER once in her life, and that was when she was 6 years old. A vet arbitrarily gave her a vaccine called leptospirosis without my consent. And I took her home, and she started swelling up all over the place and throwing up like you wouldn't believe. And we took her to an ER, and it was from the vaccine. And I was told that if she ever got that vaccine again, she would die of kidney failure. That's when she was 6 years old. And from that moment on, she never had vaccines again, except for that mandatory rabies. And I do that mercury-free. You know, my whole goal of having this beautiful puppy was to keep her out of the vet. And I did that with home cooking. And I'm a firm believer of this. So what happened to her? It was so quick. Wednesday morning, she didn't finish all her food. She always licks her bowl clean. Wednesday night, she didn't want to eat. Thursday morning, she wouldn't eat, even though I gave her like a special meal of just eggs and blueberries and pumpkin. Not balanced, but I was trying to have her eat. And she wouldn't eat it. Thursday night, I gave her just made up some ground beef with bone broth, always bone broth. And I had to spoon feed it. She only ate a little. And Friday, I said, I'm going to take her to the vet because it's the weekend. So that was probably my first mistake. I should have chosen a vet that was also open on the weekend, okay? I'm kind of new to the area here. So I took her to the vet. And by the way, they didn't do her temperature, which at the end, because she's a very hyper dog, they muzzled her and to do blood work. And at the end, when they gave her back to me, I said, did you take her temperature? And they said, no. And I said, she's in for a sick visit. You didn't do the temperature? And the vet tech said, oh, do you want me to do it now? And I thought to myself, well, the muzzle's off. She's in my arms now. I don't want to stress her out anymore. But I was like, why didn't they not do that? You got to ask vets to do everything? Anyway, that's beside the point. So they did the blood work. That was on Friday, and they said it wouldn't be done until Monday. Today's Sunday, so I still don't know that blood work. All right, so Friday night, she wouldn't eat anything. She's very, very lethargic. I mean, she was, not wanting to play, no energy, not eating, just sleeping the whole time. And then Saturday morning, I saw a big, big deterioration in her. And I saw that her back was hunched, which is a sign of pain. And when I think it back, when I picked her up, like Thursday and Friday, she was talking to me a little. I guess that she wasn't really crying, but I guess that was her way that something wasn't right. So she was just by the hour deteriorating. Like when she would stand up, I would carry her to the door to stand up to go potty. Her back legs were not parallel with each other. One was, in front of the other. And she was just like listless. She was peeing. She was drinking. She was not dehydrated, okay? But I was keeping an eye on that. Anyway, I called an ER, because my vet now is not open, okay? And I wouldn't know the blood work until tomorrow. So I called an ER and I made an appointment. The earliest appointment I could get was 4:00. And I called my husband to give him a real heads up, and he's thinking, oh, she'll be fine. And I'm saying, you're not here with me. You're not seeing this. I want you to be aware of what's going on. So she got progressively worse during the day, so I took her early to the ER. And the first thing they did was an X-ray, because they wanted to see if there was a blockage. I said, there is no blockage. She's not vomiting. She's been pooping, and her poops are fine, but I let them do it. And then they took a blood test for pancreatitis, because the vet from yesterday didn't do a pancreatitis test. I had given them the paperwork of what they did, but we didn't know the results of it. And I said, pancreatitis, she doesn't have that, because I know the symptoms of that, but I also know what causes pancreatitis. I'm very mindful of not giving her fatty foods whatsoever. I always talk about that, but I let him do it. And while I was waiting, I was Googling, pancreatitis, and it came back, she didn't have pancreatitis. So what did they do next? They said the next step would be to redo the blood test that I paid for yesterday, because you need to find out what's going on. And I had to find out, because this dog was in pain. She was lifeless. She's not eating. Something is terribly wrong with her. So we did that. They ran actually 2 types of blood tests that I had to pay for. And it came back that the liver values were like through the roof. And the vet said, it could be gallbladder or liver. And I said, well, I knew it wasn't gallbladder, because I'm very mindful of not giving my dog high oxalate foods that can cause gallstones. And she was peeing fine. It wasn't that. And she says, well, it's liver. And what they wanted me to do was to transfer her to an animal hospital. They would give her IV fluids for Saturday and Sunday night. She would have to stay 2 nights. It was $1,000 a night. And that maybe on Monday, she could get this special ultrasound. The vet where I was had an ultrasound machine, but it couldn't read what needed to be done. It needed a special ultrasound machine. But she said, it may not be Monday, because it's the place next door to this animal hospital, and it's a first come, first serve. And or you could bring her home now, and then on Monday call to try to get an ultrasound, but more than likely it won't be until Thursday. And I'm like, I'm not bringing her home like this. And this is a personal decision, but I was not going to leave her in a hospital for 2 nights, suffering, when this little dog sleeps with me every night, okay? So I texted my whole family, as 3 kids and husband, all different places in the country. And I said, if you want to say goodbye to Bella, message me now. And my son orchestrated the whole thing, put us all on a Google video chat. And it was quite nice that for Bella and for my kids and my husband and for me, for them all to be together to say goodbye. So that's the story. Bella had a really good life. We got her at 4 months. I got her off of Craigslist from a couple that they gave the dog to the other partner for Christmas. And they said, this is a big mistake. And Bella was a hot mess when we got her. She didn't have a leash or a collar, had never been out in the grass. And she was good. She was most happy when my other Bichon passed away at 16 years, because then she got all the attention. She was a big drama queen, and she was my everything. And anyway, I just want to let you know that I'm still on here to do dog nutrition, because it is so important to me to pass on what I know to everybody about food and about kibble. And I want to stress to you, and I've been talking about this for a while, canine nutrition is fluid. I mean, I've talked personally to 2 vets, not these vets, to holistic vets over the past week about something else, not even dealing with Bella. And they both had different opinions of it. I'm going to make a video of that. So what I want to say is, you need to keep up. I'll keep up for you. But you also need to trust your gut, you know? And I'm going to end and say fresh is best. And Bella had a wonderful life. And thank you for following her on her amazing journey of being the best dog I ever had.